Hello and welcome. My name is Ari. My pronouns are she, her. As we begin our service, I invite you to silence your phone, close other windows on your computer, take a deep breath, and send yourself for worship. We open and welcome the ancestral people of this land, acknowledging that our church, like Olive Burke, rests on the unceded territory of the Manahoe tribe and of the Great Sioux Nation. We seek healing and the recognition of justice with the people of this land who live in their descents. The present-day members of the Monacan Indian Nation and the Potawatomi Indian Tribe of Virginia and the Piscataway Indian Nation. We honor the ancestors as we move toward healing so that all together shall one day know full justice.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Welcome to Accotink Unitarian Universalist Church. Sacred Wheel is delighted to present this special Lammas celebration today. Lammas is the celebration of the first grain harvest of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, and we hope you will enjoy this service as much as we enjoyed putting it together. And no, there will not be any actual llamas running around. I'm sorry to disappoint you. There we are. This congregation is a welcoming and inclusive spiritual home where we inspire each other to live our values. Together we care in community, grow in spirit, and act for justice. Whether you're a longtime member or a newcomer or something in between, welcome.
We have a special service today in honor of the miracle of photosynthesis that feeds our world. Photosynthesis, a poem by Mr. R. Plants doing that, plants doing this, plants doing photosynthesis. Plants are making sweet fresh food, use sunlight, water, CO2. Plants don't eat, can't share a meal, but photosynthesize with zeal. Chlorophyll, a pigment green used to make sweet plant cuisine. Let those plants feed us all. Let green plants feed the world. Plants return O2 to breathe. Better hope those plants don't leave.
I mentioned no llamas, but I did say llamas. So what is special about today? Today, we celebrate the first of the harvest festivals of the agricultural year. In all times and places, people have broken from their daily routines to revel in the abundance of the earth, to give thanks for the security of a full grain bin, and to marvel at the simple yet profound magic of photosynthesis, without which there is no life as we know it. But it's also a great excuse to have a party. The name of this festival is Lammas, meaning loaf mass in Old English, and in Ireland, almost the same type of festival, which goes by the Celtic name Lunasa, meaning the games or assembly of Lugh, is held at almost exactly the same time. The Celts ranged all the way from Turkey to Ireland and all of Europe in between. So it is no surprise that these two festivals, both based on the Northern Hemisphere's agricultural seasons, occur at the same time in the calendar. Now, Moira, as our official player with fire, would you be so kind as to light our chalice while I say the following? Much of our American government and public life is based on ancient Rome. And Vesta, goddess of the hearth fire, is the goddess who gave us civilization and holds society together. Vesta's flame was never allowed to go out because it would mean the collapse of Roman society. So we light this candle, and I have an offering to pour. Asking Vesta to restore civility between our citizens in our various cities, civitas, as well as our paganos, our rural siblings. And yes, this is where the word pagan comes from, people who dwell in the countryside.
Please rise in body or spirit for our circle casting, and raise your arms if you are able. We stand at the cross quarter of Lammas, also called Lunissa, at the season of heat and the first wheat harvest. Once again, we form the ancient circle as we celebrate the dance of life. Let our energy surround us in this sanctuary and our church, making a bubble of radiant light in celebration of life. The circle is cast. You may be seated.
From the east, we invite air, fresh and new, into our circle. May we grow as the grain that was planted and seek inspiration for in our lives. Blessed be. Blessed be.
From the south, we invite fire and the warmth of the sun into our circle. As the green flourishes in the sun, may we flourish and nurture the spark of life that lives within all of us. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
For the west, we invite water, life-giving and restoring, without which the grain withers and dies. As we harvest what we planted, may we ebb and flow with grace in our lives. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
From the north we invite earth, nourishing, strong, and enduring as the rich soil feeds us. May we be thankful and work towards a world without hunger. Blessed be.
We call to you, Spirit of life, as the earth and sky, the sun and moon, as male and female, all genders, and that which is beyond gender. We ask you to enliven our hearts and minds this day, and as always, blessed be.
We are halfway between summer solstice, the longest day of the year, and fall equinox, when night and day are of equal length. Summer solstice was 6 weeks ago, and September 21st is 6 weeks away. So if the days are getting shorter, why is it getting hotter than it was when the days were longer? Well, the answer is very simple. We live on a big planet. It takes a long time to heat up and a long time to cool down. Took me 30 years to find that out. We call this crazy hot time of year the dog days of summer. You might think this means dogs are so hot, they're lying around not moving. But no, we're talking about a star. At this time of year, Sirius, the dog star, becomes the brightest star in the night sky, part of the Canis Major constellation. Let's see, can we see the dog in these stars? Yes, we can. We are looking for the star that is the shoulder of the dog. So not the head, not where the head connects to the next one down, the shoulder. That is Sirius, the dog star, the brightest star in the sky. The name Sirius comes from Greek for scorching, so it really fits. Canis Major is in our sky most of the year, but when it rises with the sun, that's when the worst of the heat is here. Sirius is so bright, it can be seen around dawn as the sun is starting to come up. It also goes back down around 10 o'clock at night, so keep that in mind if you're looking for this star. Now, if you lived in ancient Rome or Greece, you did not like to see Sirius because you thought that star gave off even more heat and caused disease and heat stroke and pestilence, so you did not like that. But if you lived in Egypt, you wanted to see that star come out with the sun. It meant a good harvest to come. Ancient Egypt depended on the Nile River for life, and every year this river flooded. You might think that would be bad, but for Egyptians it was good because it meant life-giving river soil would be washed onto the fields and allow grain to grow. And so much did grow that for a very long time, Egypt was called the breadbasket of Rome. So, have fun this year and try finding the dog star yourself. Lammas, the offering of the first loaf. Today we celebrate Lammas, or Lunasa as the Irish call it, the time of the first grain harvest, halfway between summer solstice and fall equinox. On this day, the first sheaves of grain are cut, and by that night, the first loaves of bread for the season are baked, and we have a loaf today on our altar right in front here. In early Christian times, these loaves were taken to church and blessed. From this, we have the Old English word plethmas, or loaf mass, and to this day, the Lammas loaf is a tradition in the British Isles. Now, the Celtic Lunasa is named after Lu, and I have a representation of Lu over here. The Celtic god of, justice, war, kingship, craftsmen, skills, all kinds of skills, trade, and harvest. So he kind of covers it all. He is an all-purpose God. He is your God of many skills. He is so well venerated that many place names come from Lu, such as London, England, and Lyon, France. Now, tradition says that Lu began this festival in late summer to honor his foster mother, Teal'c, who died of exhaustion after clearing the land for agriculture. This was the beginning of Lunasa and was celebrated with feasting and athletic games. In fact, Lunasa comes down to us here in the U.S. in an unbroken line as our modern county fairs and Highland Games right here in the U.S., so now you know. In one of the best stories about Lu, he arrives at the court of the Tuatha De Danann, the important folk of the land. And when he asks to join it, he is told you must have a skill. So he says he is a physician, then a smith, then a harper, then a warrior, and so on. But each time he is told that the Tuatha De Danann already have someone with these skills. Finally, in a quintessentially Irish turn, Lu asks the doorkeeper, "Yes, but do you have any one person who possesses all these skills?" And then he is allowed to join. Lunasa was the prime marketing and social season. The crops were ripening, the harvest was underway, and the roads were passable, allowing people to travel long distances. It was the ideal time for contracting for employment, for buying and selling, and to get married. Year and a day marriages took place when villages came together. And on Lunasa the following year, the couple could either cement their bond or dissolve the marriage, whether there were children or not. So, we ask the gods to bless this loaf, made with whole wheat, that we offer you in thanks for the wheat harvest. Bless all the world with enough food to eat, especially in war zones such as Gaza, Ukraine, and let us not forget those right here in our own country. What am I doing? I am saying thank you. I am tearing off a piece of this wonderful loaf and giving it as an offering. And then, what do we have? What are some of the other things we make with grain? We make beer, we make whiskey, whether they have alcohol or not. So we will pour a libation of this as well. What other church has beer right smack front and center in their worship service? And now, I know what the kids have been waiting for. We are going to have a game of skill in honor of Lunasa, in honor of Lou of many skills. Brad is going to play for us, and we are going to ask you to take these roles. Moira, if I could have some help, or Ari, and Charlie and Sam. Here we go. Take a roll. Toss it out to people in the congregation. And what do you have to do, people in the congregation? Keep the roll in the air. Don't let it hit the floor. Brad, please play. If it falls, pick it up. Throw it again. Keep it going. Yes.
Wheat and sun, rice and rain, corn and soil, barley and photosynthesis, oats and farmers are all are vital to the harvest and to life. Harvest offers us the opportunity for gratitude, sharing, and reflection. In the words of Patty Wigington, the power of the harvest is within me. As the seed falls to the earth and is reborn each year, I too grow as the seasons change. As the grain takes root in the fertile soil, I too will find my roots and develop. As the smallest seed blooms into a mighty stalk, I too will bloom where I have landed. As the wheat is harvested and saved for winter, I too will set aside that which I can use for later.
Okay. We thank you, Spirit of Life, as the earth and the sky, the sun and the moon, as male, female, all genders, and that which is beyond all genders, for your presence here today. We ask that all who hunger be fed, all who thirst have clean water to drink, and that our shared humanity wins out over greed and selfishness, and not just for we humans, but for all of life on our beautiful, unique earth. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Blessed be. And now we can have thanking of the porters.
In the East, we thank you, Air, for your presence here today. May we be inspired to return to the world with fresh ideas. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
In the South, we thank you, fire, for your presence here today. May we share in the warmth of fellowship with this, our community. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
In the West, we thank you, water, for your presence here today. May we go with the flow and make our lives less stressful. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
In the North, we thank you, Earth, for your presence here today. May we be steadfast and strong in our beliefs and do what is right. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Please rise now in body or spirit and join us in our closing words. As we extinguish our chalice, I invite you to join me now in our community blessing. And if you feel like you want to, you can hold hands. I know Nancy really misses it that we don't hold hands as much as we used to. This church is dedicated to the proposition that behind all our differences and beneath all our diversity, there is a unity that makes us one and binds us forever together in spite of time, death, and the space between the stars. We pause now in silent witness to that unity.
The wheel has turned and brought us to the season of the first harvest, a time when the summer ends and fall begins, a time when we reflect on what we have sown by what we reap. Now, please say with me the words to open our circle. The circle is open, but never broken. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Woo!